Bitcoin's down. Jim Cramer reckons Mr. Bitcoin is going down. We've got so much to jump into today. Before we get into what Jim Cramer has to say, Paul Tudor Jones is taking the exact opposite side of the argument here, ladies and gentlemen. So when Jim Cramer is going against Bitcoin, it probably looks like we are close to the bottom. I'll share my thoughts, whether we get a little bit lower or not, who really cares? Check out this Bitcoin price, 26,858. We are down 2% in the last 24 hours, but we'll play this video here and listen to what Jim has to say. This is hilarious. This is a good compilation.
Can't be in something that where Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big. I would not touch crypto in a million years. These people who own these things should not own them. They shouldn't own them. I do think you're an idiot. Okay?
I'll play it one more time for everyone. If you could smash the like button, because we've got a lot to unpack here. One more time, 15 seconds. Let's go.
Where Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big. I would not touch crypto in a million years. These people who own these things should not own them. They shouldn't own them. I do think you're an idiot. Okay?
I think Jim is potentially not an idiot. I think he's great value, and I think he's being paid off. That's my opinion on him. Let us know what you think of Jim Cramer in the chat. We are going to unpack what he has to say. We'll dive into the opposite side of the argument, Paul Tudor Jones, but great post by Simply Bitcoin here. JP Morgan 2 years ago, Bitcoin is worthless. Now JP Morgan, Bitcoin mining expanding coverage. Not all miners are created equal. Miners vary by scale, operating efficiency, access to capital and growth prospects. We believe CLSK, which is Clean Spark, our top pick, offers the best balance of scale, growth potential, power costs, and relative value. I will retweet this for everyone there at Sean Clark 911 if you want to check that out. Otherwise, follow Simply Bitcoin. Great video came up with them. Having a look at the numbers quickly. Block height 811,769. Local time 10:21 a.m. A little bit late today. Went for a nice long walk along the beach, which was good. Sats per dollar. This is what we need to get excited about. If you haven't got to one whole Bitcoin yet, today's a good day. It's a good opportunity. We will unpack that, but 3,722 Satoshis per $1. Get rid of the dirty fiat. Get it in there. Obviously not financial advice, but study Bitcoin. It's a bloody good idea. And the depth of the mempool, look at this. This is absolutely insane. We dropped down to about 65 2 days ago, and the depth now 84 blocks deep with 29,611 transactions unconfirmed, 422 megabytes over 300 there. The halving, we noticed the change the other day. It is estimated now April 25th. A shout out to the Anzacs, those who fought before us to give us the freedom that is very quickly disappearing all around the world. Bitcoin is your last chance at freedom. That is my strong belief. That's why I get here every single day. We read the books, we promote the books, we tell you to do your own research, because Bitcoin now, it's a bearish share. Digital gold, we've got so much to get into. It's important we understand this asset here. So, couple of things. Paul Tudor Jones, this is probably who I'd be listening to over Jim Cramer. Maybe Jim Cramer gets it right short term. Sure, Bitcoin's down a little bit today. That means it's a good opportunity to be able to stack some sats and chill. But I'd rather be listening to Paul Tudor Jones over Cramer. Anyway, billionaire Paul Tudor Jones backs Bitcoin and gold as geopolitical risk rise. Jones said the US is moving towards an untenable fiscal position. Hedge fund giant Paul Tudor Jones, we're just going to call him Mr. Jones so I don't slip up, said on Tuesday, Mr. Jones and me, lucky I'm not a singer, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, that the combination of extensive geopolitical risk and rising US government debt levels make it difficult to own stocks, but that Bitcoin and gold are attractive. Shout out to everyone in the chats there. If you could smash the like button, helps out a lot. Someone's here, dog alarm. This might be the most threatening geopolitical environment I've ever seen. He also took note of the US fiscal position, calling it the weakest since at least World War II. Now, I will be making a short little video while I am in the States, and we will be diving back into 1907, World War I, World War II, the panic of 1907. Absolutely insane how JP Morgan came in to save the day, and that started the central banks that we have, the Fed in America, and our one world currency we are moving towards very quickly. Anyway, as interest costs go up in the United States, said Jones, you get in this vicious circle, must be the postman, where higher interest rates cause higher funding costs, cause higher debt issuance, which cause further bond liquidation, which cause higher rates, which put us in an untenable fiscal position. I can't love stocks, he said, but I love Bitcoin and gold. Jones first made known his bullishness on Bitcoin in May 2020, saying then he had 1 to 2% of his assets in the crypto. A year later, he wanted an allocation to Bitcoin of 5%. So I Googled his net worth, $8.1 billion. I had to pull out the calculator on my phone. 5% of $8.1 billion, if I manage my math right, is $405 million one man owns of Bitcoin. So if you're not at one Bitcoin yet, and some of the highest net worth individuals in the world are, and then we've got the BlackRock ETF coming out with regulation. The SEC has already deemed that Bitcoin's not a security. It is time to get excited about all these things. Stack as hard as you can. Not everyone is going to manage to be able to get to one Bitcoin, but do everything you possibly can without wrecking the hierarchy of needs. You need food, shelter, water, clothing, all the essentials. Look after your family. Once you have all those things in place, make it your mission to get to one Bitcoin. Anyway, now, let's go on to Cramer. This is hilarious. Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big. Jim Cramer expects lower prices. Just give me 2 secs. I'll just shut the door a little bit more and one moment. Hey, puppy dog, it's okay. I really have no idea what has got her worked up. It's usually only the postman. She barks at. Anyway, I can't go without gold because gold is not good. I can't go out with Bitcoin because I can't be in something where Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big, said Cramer. I don't know if he thinks SBF is... It even says it here. It's unclear if Mr. Bitcoin was in reference to the ongoing trial of Sam Bankman-Fried. We need to remember, ladies and gentlemen, SBF, FTX, what's coming out now, the manipulation. FTX, this guy absolutely decimated the cycle last time, selling Bitcoin every time it was above $20,000, selling it out quick, cutting it there to be able to support their Ponzi scheme. And that's the difference between Bitcoin and crypto. It's unclear if Mr. Bitcoin was in reference to the ongoing trial of SBF or to Bitcoin in general, but Cramer's bearishness was evident. So, in regards to that, it is still up 68% since the start of the year. Cramer had previously stated in June 21 that he had sold most of his Bitcoin holdings. That there, most of, not all his holdings. He's got a high net worth, so he probably still owns more than all of us combined, ladies and gentlemen. It's more than likely Cramer has 1 or 2 Bitcoin floating around. He'll be a whole coiner for sure. Jim Cramer doesn't know, it's just an opinion piece, a couple of funny excerpts out of it. Moreover, many observers think Bitcoin's prospects have never been brighter. A flood of institutional ETFs, Bitcoin ETF applications from BlackRock and others could bring in trillions of dollars into the market. Last cycle, $25 to $30 billion took Bitcoin from $3,300 to over $69,000. If we get trillions of dollars, it's going to rip faces off, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's a little bit brutal, but we do have blood in the streets, so I guess that is a fairly fitting analogy. Could bring in trillions of dollars into the market, creating an easier and more familiar way for everyday investors to get into the space. In doomy times, Bitcoin surely becomes more attractive, and a continued regulatory clampdown on crypto could be good for Bitcoin. After all, it's the only coin that the SEC Chair Gary Gensler said is not a security and therefore covered by traditional securities laws. We have such a short-term mindset, and what I'm beginning to see is on these red days, and I'll show you it again, everyone feels so bearish and they think they've made the worst decision of their lives investing, especially if they bought in yesterday when it was above $27,000. They see it today and they're like, oh no, and then they panic and they sell. Like literally in 2020, a great guy turned $5,000 into about $3,000, where he could have turned that $5,000 into like $50,000, $80,000. It's crazy because he panicked and he sold on the prices of red. Whereas for myself, I was accumulating every red day, and I accumulate. Even yesterday, I was accumulating, which is amazing. May accumulate a little bit more today. Bought a lot yesterday. But that's the way I see it. Just get as much as humanly possible is the best way to do it, and make the most of these red days, because we're going to get into an article very shortly. Once they're over, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to look back and be like, if only, even if we go down to $24,000, $25,000, you'll be like, I should have been buying it at $26,000, $27,000. Obviously not advice, but definitely worth looking into. So thanks, Gary Gensler. It'll be interesting to see what happens Friday the 13th as well with Gary Gensler's SmackDown, and we'll see what the SEC says in regards to the GBTC trust. Now, Robert Breedlove, this is a good way to be able to frame why we stack Bitcoin. Every unit of purchasing power you store in Bitcoin rather than fiat currency mitigates the state's ability to wage war. In other words, saving in Bitcoin is a vote against violence. I could not agree more myself. Yeah, stack, it's a peaceful protest to be able to opt out. This is a really funny little video as well. We'll bring it full screen and we'll hit play. It's 7 seconds. Sorry if that hit your eardrums a little bit hard. And that's basically what we're going to see. Slowly, then suddenly, the Fed can only do what they can do for so long. If we have a look at the US debt clock and bring this up, this number is just going up so big. We are going into a debt spiral here as well. 33, whoa. So 2 days ago, this was $33 trillion, 518 billion. Now it's 523. So we just added $5 billion to the US national debt. The US national debt is basically the world's debt as well. It is what it is. Quick video, not a political channel. I thought it was worth bringing up Robert F. Kennedy, and then we'll get into the news. Just in regards to him being a Bitcoin advocate, and hey, he's got some good messaging out there. It's we'll turn the sound on. We'll bring it full screen for everyone here. Here we go.
Republicans continue to fight. The left is a cult. I don't want to hear it from Republicans. We'll beat the shit out of them. Time out. Helping your party. Anarchy across America. Radical Democrats. Republicans. Republicans.
Yeah, I was fed up too. And that's why I'm running for President of the United States as an independent. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and I approve this message.
Alrighty, a couple of questions there in the chat that I will get to in a second. We'll just race through this. And if you can do us a favor, if you're watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube. If you're already on YouTube, smash the like, subscribe if we vibe if you haven't already, and let's carry on here. Sam Callahan, if you're not following him already, well worth the follow both on Twitter and YouTube. Another reason why you want to get as much Bitcoin as possible. Get to 1 Bitcoin, do everything you can, stack, believe it's possible, and be absolutely relentless. Let me tell you about a concerning new pilot program launched by the BIS Eurosystem D Nederlandse Bank and the Dutch Bundebank last week. Project Atlas, even the name Project Atlas, the book I'm listening to at the moment, Atlas Shrugged. I wonder if that's what this reference is to. Anyway, Project Atlas, or Atlas the Globe, I guess. Project Atlas is a proof of concept for surveilling the international flows of Bitcoin and all crypto assets. The program aims to combine data from crypto exchange with on-chain data specifically Bitcoin, into one analytics platform for regulators and central banks to use to surveil. Project Atlas creates an infrastructure to collect granular and aggregate data relevant to central banks, mandates from public and proprietary sources. The report mentions how crypto needs to be better monitored given increasing financial stability concerns, because they know that Bitcoin prevents this. It saves your purchasing power. It is gold for a digital age. It is the best store of value. It's the best form of money that has ever been created, and it's outside their control, and they want to be able to control it. So they are going to go in hard for it. And that as much as 70% of trading volumes reported by unregulated exchanges is estimated to constitute wash trading. I dare say that's more with crypto over Bitcoin, but we did see that obviously with FTX, and it's no doubt Binance is wash trading as well. Atlas, my opinion, not a fact. Feel free to fact check me in the comments below. Atlas will run a Bitcoin node to gather on-chain data. It then also takes data from exchanges to link addresses to specific entities or individuals. So with this here, if you're stacking Bitcoin, report it, do the right thing, but take self-custody of it, control your keys. You can put it on a cheap stainless steel plate, store it on steel, not on paper. Otherwise, Tudor, that's probably one of the best out there on the market. This is it's getting absolutely crazy. They will know who has Bitcoin, where that Bitcoin is flowing. So do the legal thing. If you need to talk and put it in a trust or something like that, you can reach out to the Bitcoin advisor, their link below, or talk to a proper financial accountant that understands these things and how to put it into a trust. Goes into detail on how Atlas can use on-chain data and off-chain data to identify who controls what addresses. The first step in grouping addresses that are controlled by the same actor using cluster heuristics. So it's quite a long one. Sam has gone in depth. I will repost that for everyone to see, and follow Sam. The work that he does, the information that he puts out, absolutely fantastic there. Now, good reminder, if you think it's too expensive at $26,000, $27,000, 2013, 25,000, 2015, 250. I first heard about it when it was $95 Australian, and I didn't do it. I made some stupid decisions and bought things that weren't really necessary for my wealth or for my health. Anyway, 2,500, maybe just after there, but 2023, 25,000, 2027, you didn't buy Bitcoin at 250,000, 2031, $2.5 million there. The numbers, yes, they're rounded up, they're rounded down, but you get the point, ladies and gentlemen. We never think we get in early enough. If you're here now, you're early. You're here before the majority. You're here before BlackRock. You're here before Grayscale's ETF. You're here before the institutions. You're here before the general population. Make the most of it. Stack. Be absolutely relentless in an ethical way. This is crazy. Luke Broyles, Argentina's inflation rate over time, 2001, negative 1%, 04, 4%, 09, 6%, 11, 9%, 14, 2014, 23, 18, 34, 29, 53%, 2020, 94%. And then on October 10th, 2023, on one day, 10%. Your country is not unique. The incentive structure trends towards the same outcome. All fiat currencies mathematically are certain to have this happen. It's just a matter of when, not if. This doesn't happen with Bitcoin. You can't print anymore. Your country is not unique. Here are the G20 nations in alphabetical order. Notice the first one, Argentina, Australia, and then we go down there as well. The masses will ask, why is Bitcoin skyrocketing? The informed will say everything is trending towards zero against Bitcoin. Study Bitcoin before daily inflation is 10%, ladies and gentlemen. Luke said it really well. Michael Saylor has put this out. What will you do when inflation is 10% per day? It's Bitcoin or nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is the last chance of hope, and it's something that you can do to be able to protect yourself, your friends, your family. War is indeed good for business. Dow Warburton Defense up 6.3%. Lockheed Martin, RTX Corp, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics. It's amazing how profitable war is. We will be diving into that World War I, World War II in a video coming out in quite a few weeks' time after the trip to the States there. Just checking out what Bitcoin's price has done in the last 24 hours, because people, when it's red, get a little bit scared. Red days, if you can trick your brain into buying on red days, then you appreciate the red days and make the most of them. 26,786. What I want to show is the high and low $900 movement in the last 24 hours, 26,570 to 27,470. We're towards the lower end of that in the last 24 hours at the moment. Nearly $1,000 move today, and not much is going on. After the halving, we're going to see tens, if not like $10,000 moves, if not tens of thousands of dollars worth of movement, both up and to the downside. So make the most of it while you can here. I will get to everyone's comments in a second, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Sean, caught the live. Keep it up, mate. Thanks very much. G'day. How often do you stack stats? Nearly every single red day. Nearly. Not quite, but nearly every single red day. Hey, Sean, has Michael Saylor responded to you? Love to see a pic of you two shaking hands. He has not yet. If everyone can tweet at him and tag me in it, would be greatly appreciated. I will be close to the MicroStrategy headquarters while I am over there. Would love to sit down and have, you know, even a 2-minute conversation with that man would be absolutely remarkable. Sean, do you hold any stocks or precious metals? Little bit of silver, sold all my gold, very, very little, no stocks, real estate, just the house that we live in, and we've got a little bit of cash in the bank, but 95 to 98% excluding the house. Like, you should never count your personal home and your net worth is within Bitcoin. Rory, g'day, Sean. Come on, fellas and females. Let's show Sean some love and chuck a like on his video. Greatly appreciated. That's Rory Saylor, co-host. We will be live tomorrow around the same time. What's next for BTC price? Some analysts noted Bitcoin's remarkable steadiness over the past weeks amid falling US stocks and the bond market rout. However, that trend appeared to fizzle out after the crypto failed to break above a heavy resistance around $28,000. We have been talking about that $28,000 resistance for the last couple of weeks here as well. In regards to that, once it goes above 28,000, the next one's 32,000. Once it can hold above 28,000, it's probably going to drop down a few times below it, and then it's going to turn in support, and then it's going to push up against 32, 34,000. Once we break through there, we're probably going to jump up. My belief, in my opinion, is to 44,000, 45,000 very quickly, probably around the time of the halving. So truly, study Bitcoin. Make the most of it, because when Bitcoin starts to move, it starts to move very, very quickly. Coming up to the halving, I see us going up. We'll drop down just after the halving, and then we'll start going up into that parabolic cycle over the next 6, 12, 18 months after the cycle. Judging by history, history doesn't always repeat. Often it rhymes, ladies and gentlemen. So a confluence of the 200-day and 200-week moving averages. Popular trader Zhao said on an X post that narratives will shift bearish for Bitcoin as spot holders will start unwinding in fear of lower prices, hinting at a potential fall below $25,000. If you're here now, hold, learn, grow your conviction. If you need to read the books, listen to the podcast, whatever it is, have a plan, stick to the plan. Don't be like my friend that sold on the red days, bought on the green days, sold in the red days, bought on the green days over and over again, and that money just went down and down and down. Whereas if he did the opposite, or just bought it, forgot about it, stacked and chilled, would have made a lot of cash. Even if he has to hold it now, it would be a lot more than what he put in. So it's a lesson. Very unlikely we get a rate hike. It's still 20 odd days away, 20 days, 17 hours, 16 minutes and 1 second. 90% chance they stay where they are, 90.9, and then we've got a 9.1% chance they are talking about one more rate hike before the end of the cycle. We'll get one more, probably pause. They'll pause this one, I'm sure. Maybe the next time we get a rate hike, and then they just pause for a while, and then they are going to have to start cutting it down. They do need for people to become unemployed. They need to push people out of the job market. It's absolutely insane that the way this works. War is profitable. Like, that should never be the case, but they profit hugely from war. And with inflation data, they need people unemployed. So their aim is to put more and more pressure on with these interest rates, either hiking them or holding them where they are. People are maxing out their credit cards. They've used all their savings. So if you are still managing to stack in this climate, well done. That's a huge effort. I understand what's going on in the world. Inflation is absolutely skyrocketing. Like here in Australia, fuel, and we measure in litres, and our dollar's worth less than the US, but it's over $2 a litre at the moment. It's pretty exorbitant. Now, Bitcoin mining industry is at a crucible moment, JP Morgan says. Just one thing that I want to point out with them, we obviously saw Nico's post earlier, or simply Bitcoin's post earlier. It could have been Opti putting that out as well. Very interesting how against Bitcoin JP Morgan was when they're accumulating themselves. Anyway, the Bitcoin mining industry is a crucible moment as the approval of a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund could catalyze a rally against a backdrop of record hash rate and impending block reward halving that threatened the industry's revenue and profitability, JP Morgan said in a research report on Wednesday. So they are really going deep into it as well. And they've got a couple of things, I think, on their Ethereum network or their own blockchain or whatever nonsense that they are doing there with, I don't know, it's just a rail for CBDCs, really. That's my opinion. And people, yes, this is the Bitcoin only chat. If you want to find out about cryptocurrency and be a degenerate gambler, go ahead. This is not the channel for that. There's some great channels if you're interested in that. I just want people to understand that Bitcoin is digital gold. It's savings technology. It gives them freedom, personal responsibility, self-sovereignty. It is a digital good for a digital age. They can't inflate it. They can't control it. You need to make the most of this opportunity. And then if you want to gamble, go ahead, gamble. There's no drama doing that. But this is not the channel for that. And so just on that, like, why do I randomly say that? Because I get these comments all the time about BSV, XRP, BCH. They're all rubbish, absolute rubbish. And they're like, XRP is the banker's coin. I'm not interested in CBDCs at all. Anyway. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So Bitcoin is fundamentally different from other cryptocurrencies, Fidelity digital assets. I'm saying it, Fidelity is saying it. If you don't trust me, these people know what they're going on about. So the crypto's first technological breakthrough was not as a superior payment method, but as a superior form of money. It is the best form of money the world has ever existed. It is probably impossible for there ever to be a better form of money than Bitcoin. Stick with that. That's what I'm interested in. Bitcoin is a monetary good and an attractive store of value in a progressively digital world. Traditional investors tend to use a technology investing framework when analyzing Bitcoin, which leads them to the wrong conclusion that the cryptocurrency as a first mover technology will easily be supplanted by a superior one or have lower returns. However, Bitcoin's first technological breakthrough was not as a superior payment tech, but as a superior form of money. I said that again because it is the most superior form of money to ever exist. Bitcoin is fundamentally different from any other digital asset, and other cryptocurrencies are unlikely to improve on Bitcoin as a monetary good because it is the most secure, decentralized, sound digital money. It is not controlled. They did not pre-mine it. Like, Ethereum did. 70% of Ethereum was pre-mined. JP Morgan even says they're disappointed in Ethereum, and they're one of the largest bag holders. Same deal going on with Solana, XRP, all that nonsense there. I'm really just not interested in there. And there was a time where I was, and it's a bloody mind virus, and I don't want anyone out there. If you want to gamble, gamble, have fun. It's that's up to you. Your money, your choice. I just want people to understand that this is what's going to create freedom in your lives going forward. It's important for future generations. According to the report, the world's largest cryptocurrency return profile is driven by two powerful tailwinds: global growth of the broader digital asset ecosystem and the potential instability of traditional macroeconomic conditions, which we are seeing absolutely fall down. Argentina's inflation rate, wars around the world, the amount of money that's been printed since 2020, what is going on with the US debt clock? It's going to surpass $34 trillion, if not next week, in the next couple of weeks. Like, isn't that not insane? If people aren't awake to that fact, I don't know, maybe we can give them a book. It's hard. It's, you know, they say everyone's going to get Bitcoin at the price they deserve. But if you're here now, make the most of it while it is cheap, because it is going to get higher. Straight away, it's volatile. Volatile does not mean it's risky. When in doubt, just zoom out. Bitcoin should be considered first and separate from all other digital assets that have followed it. If you get into Bitcoin, you stack a whole coin, and then you want to play around and gamble, go ahead. Anyway, we've got this one here. Crypto hodlers stash Bitcoin worth $1.35 billion each month, and the price is going down. Like, this is taken off, and everyone will have a price that they sell at, but they are stacking relentlessly. So the continued accumulation shows tightening supply. So there's less supply. We're coming up to the Bitcoin halving, which is going to lead to a huge supply shock and a widespread reluctance to transact, according to Glassnode. I will move fiat onto the Amber app, and then from the Amber app, I'll put it onto the wallet of Satoshi so I can spend it, so I can use a little bit of it. And it's just a fun way to be able to spend Bitcoin. But when I buy on Amber app, most of it will go into cold storage, and it's not coming out for a very, 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 very long time there. That's how I do it. That's, you do you, I'll do me. But it's worth playing around with Lightning. It's a lot of fun, and it's good for the network. It supports the network, and it allows it to become a superior payment method. But I mainly use it as a store of value. But I will more and more and more, I am just doing a little bit with Lightning. I think I want to support the network, but I'm never going to move like my cold storage onto Lightning to use to be able to spend. Like, for what? Like, turn it into dirty fiat? No, thank you. The hodler net position change metric shows long-term investors or wallets with a history of holding coins for at least 155 days have been accumulating 50,000 Bitcoin per month. I know I'm in that category, ladies and gentlemen. Are you in that category? And if you haven't been here for 155 days, are you in 155 days' time going to be in that category there? The total number of Bitcoin held by long-term holders has reached a new all-time high, even though we're seeing lower prices of over 14.859 million Bitcoin, amounting to 76% of the cryptocurrency's circulating supply. Some people believe there's only ever going to be 15 million Bitcoin in total due to wallets so like 14 to 15 million that can be sold at the right price for each individual. Michael Saylor, very unlikely to sell it. He may borrow against it in the future. In the future, I may borrow against my Bitcoin. I was talking to my wife this morning about this in regards to it. And is the time to do that now? No, the time now is just to continue to stack as much as possible. Anyway, what I was getting at with the 14 to 15 million, that hasn't moved in 155 days. People keep stacking. It's taken off. It's out out of circulation, and then we get the halving, and then the ETFs come in, as well as regulatory clarity more and more all around the world. The other day we went for a trip around the world and we saw places that are friendly for and against Bitcoin and crypto. As soon as the US hits that switch, it's game on for the rest of the world, ladies and gentlemen. Once that happens, everyone is going to wake up, and then people, the higher the price gets, the more people are going to jump in. That leads to FOMO, then that leads to higher prices. So make the most of it while you can. Dormant coins are those that haven't been spent on chain over a given period. Increased coin dormancy means coins are being held for longer periods of time and in an illiquid state, which indicates the potential for an exaggerated price rally. One other thing I'd like to say on that, the lower we stay down here, the lower and the longer we stay down here, and it just builds support, support, support. It's like a spring, like it just keeps condensing, 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 and then bang, it explodes. So the lower and the longer we stay down here, make the most of it, because it is taking all those coins off the exchange, leading to a supply shock, and we are getting that demand shock coming as well. Your legend, FYI, you can listen to the Bitcoin Standard here on YouTube. Safety's got a good channel out there as well. There can only be one Connor McLeod. I'll need to Google Connor McLeod, excuse my ignorance, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a real pleasure. Hit subscribe if we vibe. Check out the video that I did with British Hodl yesterday. Absolutely epic. Be blessed. Peace.